Every airport has two sides. The first is chaotic: lines, security checks, delays, and passports. But once you cross through security, you enter a completely different world. Quiet, polished, filled with designer bags, high-end liquor, and enough perfume to make your eyes water. Welcome to the world of duty-free. It feels luxurious, exclusive, maybe even like a good deal. But behind those shelves of whiskey and cologne lies a business model that most travelers never even think about. And it's not just profitable, it's essential. For some airports, these shops are the real reason the planes are flying at all. This is the story of how duty-free became one of the most lucrative and secretive retail strategies in the world. Let's start with the illusion. The words duty-free sound like magic. No tax? Must be cheaper, right? Not necessarily. The key word here is duty. It refers to import taxes that are typically applied to products like alcohol, tobacco, and luxury goods when they cross borders. In a duty-free shop, those taxes are waived. But that doesn't mean the price is lower. In fact, some items in duty-free stores are more expensive than buying them back home. But travelers still buy them. Why? Because airports aren't just transportation hubs. They're psychological pressure cookers. You've passed through security, you're stuck in a bubble. You've got time to kill and nowhere else to go. And now you're surrounded by luxury brands and slick lighting. That's not an accident, that's a perfect retail trap. Duty-free stores are built on a powerful cocktail of behavioral psychology. You're in an international mindset. You feel like a temporary version of yourself, a little freer, a little richer, a little more impulsive. Economists call this the transient shopping identity. You're outside your normal routines, and you're more likely to spend. That's why duty-free stores put high-margin, status symbol products right at the front. Perfume, jewelry, watches. These aren't essentials. They're emotional triggers. And they sell. Here's the kicker. Airport retail is often the biggest source of revenue for an airport. Not the flights, not the baggage fees, but the stores. In some major airports, retail can account for up to 60% of non-aeronautical revenue. And duty-free is the crown jewel. Let's take Heathrow Airport in London. It made over £500 million in retail revenue in a single year. That's more than some airlines make in profit. And these stores aren't just renting space. They're often in complex concession agreements where they pay a percentage of every sale back to the airport. That means airports are directly incentivized to help duty-free stores sell more. Better lighting, optimal foot traffic design, even subtle scent marketing. The floor plan is strategic. You almost always have to walk through the store to get to your gate. That's called forced exposure, and it's one of the most powerful retail techniques. Combine that with your limited time, jet lag, and a sense of urgency, you've got the perfect formula for an impulse buy. But here's where things get even more interesting. The real profit engine of duty-free isn't just the tax savings, it's the perceived value. Most travelers don't know the actual price of a bottle of perfume in their home country, so when they see it in an airport, surrounded by words like exclusive and limited, they assume they're getting a deal. That confusion is built into the strategy. And because the shops are technically operating in international zones, sometimes outside the direct jurisdiction of local consumer protection laws, price transparency can be pretty flexible. Now, let's talk about the players. Duty-free stores aren't random retailers. They're often owned by massive multinational conglomerates. Companies like Dufry, Lotte, and DFS Group dominate the space. DFS alone was co-founded by LVMH, the luxury empire behind Louis Vuitton and Dior. These companies compete fiercely for contracts with airports, offering tens of millions of dollars in minimum guarantees just for the right to operate. It's not uncommon for a duty-free operator to bid $200 million plus just for a 5-year contract at a major airport. Why? Because they know exactly what a captive audience is worth. And here's the secret sauce. Duty-free stores don't have to advertise. The airport is the funnel. Every day, millions of travelers walk right into their storefronts. No digital ads, no social media campaigns, just pure physical foot traffic. With higher spending power than your average shopper, business class passengers, international travelers, vacationers, all statistically more likely to splurge. Even airport location matters. Airports in the Middle East, like Doha and Dubai, have become retail powerhouses because of their geographic position as stopovers between Europe, Asia, and Africa. Dubai duty-free alone generated $1.74 billion in sales in a single year. Think about that. A shop that technically exists in a liminal space between countries is generating nearly $2 billion in revenue. And don't forget the loyalty angle. Airports are increasingly tracking passenger data to personalize offers. Your flight history, your nationality, even your spending habits. It's all fair game. Some airports are rolling out apps that push offers directly to your phone once you enter the terminal. That's Duty-Free 2.0. Frictionless, data-driven, and hyper-optimized for maximum conversion. So let's recap. Duty-free shops make billions by selling luxury products at sometimes higher prices, using psychology and geographic limbo to push purchases. The airport doesn't just benefit, it depends on them. Retail revenue keeps many terminals profitable, and travelers fund it all without even realizing it. Next time you're walking past shelves of designer perfume and overpriced whiskey in an airport, just remember, this isn't just a shop. It's a finely tuned, tax-free profit machine, one that's been designed to turn your layover into their payday. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, stick around, because there's a whole hidden economy behind the everyday world. And we're just getting started.